Hi everyone. It's that time of year again, and as you know, this is potato time. When you see this little dandelion here, it's a good indication that your soil is ready to start planting tubers. And about a month ago or a few weeks ago, I can't remember at the moment, was the perfect time in Missouri, about a month before your last frost date, to plant the tubers in the ground. But today is, tomorrow's the last frost date for Missouri, April 15th, and I looked at the calendar, or the weather forecast, and it looks like it's perfect time to get the potato plants in. But my video is going to be a little more involved, and I hope you want to learn a lot about potatoes, or at least listen to me talk, because over the years I've gained a lot of information, and I do things a little bit different sometimes. Here's some of the tubers that are pre-sprouted. They call it chitting, where you expose the potatoes to warmer temperatures and light, and they sprout a little bit of a root. Let me bring this up. They sprout a little bitty clump of what actually turns into the stalks of the potatoes. On the sides here, occasionally you'll see roots started. On this potato, it don't have the roots starting. But this is, what you see here is a mixture of what's new to me this year, and all the ones that are in containers here are what I already had collected from the true potato seeds that I grew last year. And there's Charlotte, it's a UK variety that I'm really excited to grow. And then over here is a bucket. I showed you how if your potatoes started sprouting too early, you can put them into a container of sterile soil, which is, in this container, cocoa coir. And this is like a massive amount of roots in here. And this potato right here, let's see if I can get this out. Look at this one. It's already having its own little babies already. Those are miniature little potatoes, and it hasn't even formed a stalk yet. With the potatoes like this, let me see if I can get one out without hurting it. Some people find their potatoes later on and after they've already sprouted, but they don't know what to do with this massive stalk. Putting the potato in here, look at all the roots that have formed on it already. And I can go ahead and just bury this up to, like, right here, say 8 inches, and the plant is already ready to grow. Or I can just take this and pull the potato off of here and use this potato as, to start more plants. And that way I can multiply one potato into a lot of potatoes. Look at that root stock, how healthy it is. But this would have done better if I would have planted it, but I chose to just let it sit in there and do what it wanted to do, and this is what it did. But I have a whole container of these guys to separate out and plant. Along with, let me bring you over here. These are the potatoes that about a month ago I put into trays, and let's see if I can get a tray out. And they've pre-sprouted and have roots on the bottom. And then I can take these out individually and plant them as potato plants. I call that pre-rooting. Some of these have the roots already grown into the soil underneath here. Oh, and that's not good. But look at all those roots. I might end up breaking up the container to get these guys out. Let's see. Bring the container over here. okay if you damage some of the roots because they'll regrow. And I just pulled this potato off its plant, and that's okay. I can just continue planting that. But all you have to do is, like you're buying, what do you call that, tomato plants or anything else in the store, wiggle these guys apart. And if you break something off, you can just plant that and it'll continue to grow. If you look under here, these are all baby potatoes that are forming. And there's stallions growing more. Let's see if I can get more of these apart. And hopefully you keep all the babies with their parents. And if you really want to, you can just take this plant off and bury it, and take this plant off and bury it, and then plant that, and you've got 3 plants out of 1 instead of cutting up the potato. And what happens is the potato itself is like the mom. It's got all the energy in it that supplies the food and nutrients to the stalk itself up here. And when you're planting, this is an early season potato. It's probably either the Mennonite potato or it's the Kennebec potato. And when you plant the potato, you can see right here all the roots grow over top of the tuber, and then the stalk comes up from the tuber, and nothing is below it unless one of the stolons grow. This is a stolon, unless it grows out and then grows down, but everything grows up. And this is usually like 3 months, and this potato is programmed to be only 3 months of grow time, and there's your potatoes. And it never grows above the soil. You'll hill up a little bit to prevent sun from getting to the potatoes, but if you hill these up and hill these up and hill these up, you'll just suffocate the plant, because this plant's not going to produce higher on the stalk. Where a long season potato, let's see right here, if you can see the roots. See down here, there's stolons here and here and here. And this could turn into a stolon if I bury it deeper. A long season potato that takes all summer long can grow as much as 12, maybe 18 inches maximum, and it's rare to get something to grow that tall in the soil. So you never want to bury this more than 8 to 12 inches under the soil. Plant, we'll pretend this is a tuber, a normal tuber. You'll just dig into your soil and go down 4 to 6 inches, because this is an early season potato, and put it in and cover it up. And then I use about a hand's length away, dig another hole, and this time I'm going to put one that's got plants on it. Each one of these sticks that you see coming up the stalks is a plant. So this is actually 4 plants on this one tuber. I'm going to go ahead and just put them all in one hole instead of dividing them up. Pull the soil around them. Then a hand over, a hand over. I really don't need a tool with this soil, so I'm just going to dig down. Pull out a potato. And put it in. This is a really big potato. I saw somebody say something about a big potato produces a bunch of little ones, where a little potato produces a lot of big ones. And that was really an interesting thought, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought about experimenting and seeing. But if you can see, this big potato does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants that we could pull off of one potato. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to set him in the ground and cover him up and let him do whatever he does, and we'll see what this big potato does with all this crowding. Now let's go over here to the fingerling sized potatoes. Let's see. Here's Russian banana. This is just a tuber. I'm going to bring him over here. What's important too is garden markers, and that way you know what you're planting where. I'm going to start back here, and oh, there's a root that just popped its way in here. You never know what's gonna, this is honeysuckle. You never know what's gonna jump into your garden from year to year. Put that back there. I'm gonna garden on this side of the fence and compost on that side. And then you reach down, and that's just a stick, so nothing to worry about. And now I need loppers to get this out. So much for having a great garden, huh? Unexpected adventure. We'll move over here, and I'll take care of that in a minute. But a lot of people like to take and shut these in like a, what's that called, egg tray, and just get the chits on top and plant these straight in the ground like this. Where if you plant it on the side, you'll end up with more potatoes. When you plant it going up and down, you're more likely just to get the chitted spots to grow. They have less of the other plants coming up. That's this one is bent over, but it'll turn itself back up. Put it in, cover it up, and then it's that easy. So I got 2 planted here, and I have to get the sticks out. And then my inspector gives me, "What do you think, Silk? Did I do a good job?" She's like, "Nah, boring. Next." Forgot, someone asked me about a potato turning green. When your potatoes are exposed to sunlight, they do turn green, and it's a glycoalloy that is somewhat toxic, but the more green, the more bitter the potato is. So this would be really, really hard to eat. Where this one hasn't had any sun exposure, so this one is safer to eat. If it has just a little bit of yellowing, not yellowing, green on it, you need to peel the potato, and that'll remove the toxin. The greener it is, the more alkaloids it has. But it's pretty much safe to eat, other than I would never eat this one because of the greenness. But I've had this in the window all winter, and that's why it's so green. And it's time to plant the shallots too. I've got French shallots that I need to break up and get into the ground. And I'll close for now. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great day. Say bye, Silk. Silk says, ooh, let's inspect the potatoes. Yeah, she says it's too noisy around here. I gotta find a quiet spot